is certainly the case that the elites, and that in this country includes by and large, the rejoiner elite in the civil service, if I can call it that, the people who never accepted Brexit and have been trying to reverse it. And I mention Brexit deliberately because it's an important dividing line here, because these are people who see the European Union as a source of power, whereas I think objectively one of the great lessons of 2022 was that the European Union was revealed to be a paper tiger. And, you know, we, the United Kingdom, everybody listening should remember this, we have given more military aid in terms both of money and equipment than the entire European Union put together.
Sure, no, I wasn't disputing that. I wasn't disputing that at all.
Well, you might not dispute that, 𝗚𝗚𝗡𝗡, but I've been checking out the claim by Professor Prins with the Kiel Institute in Germany. They've produced the Ukraine Support Tracker, a comprehensive database of bilateral, military, financial and humanitarian aid to Ukraine. Their tracker lists and quantifies aid promised by 40 governments and EU institutions to Ukraine from 24th of January to 20th of November 2022. Their dataset shows that the total bilateral assistance to Ukraine from the UK government stands at just over €7 billion. That's made up of around €2.5 billion in financial aid, almost €500 million in humanitarian aid, and just over €4 billion in military aid. By comparison, EU institutions over the same time gave a total of around €35 billion in aid to Ukraine. That's made up of just over €30 billion in financial aid, almost €2 billion in humanitarian aid, and just over €3 billion in military aid. But added to that needs to be the total aid provided by EU member states, which the Ukraine Support Tracker has quantified at almost €17 billion. That's made up of over €4 billion in financial aid, almost €4 billion in humanitarian aid, and almost €9 billion in military aid. So, whilst according to the Support Tracker, the UK has given just over €4 billion in military aid to Ukraine, contrary to the claim by Professor Prins, the entire European Union has given much more, a total of almost €12 billion in military aid. Commented André Frank, a team member of the Ukraine Support Tracker, the total aid to Ukraine by EU member states and EU institutions is higher than pledges from the UK government. The UK is a large donor, having pledged more bilateral aid than any one single EU member country. However, once the total military contributions of EU institutions and EU member states are factored in, the claim by Professor Prins that the UK has given more military aid to Ukraine than the entire European Union put together is wrong. I have reached out to Professor Prins, an ardent Brexiter, for his response.